Oh, for fuck's sakes, what is that nonsense? What the hell is this? It's not over, is it? Why isn't it over? Why? Damn it. Oh, for fuck, who are you? It's you. Wow, don't you come any closer. She could be nice. We give her a tongue back, right? Oh, okay. Mad. It was a rainy evening after school, just like this one. Oh, for fuck's sake. Is she going to tell me a story? I want to end. On the day I was kidnapped, I remember I had a fight with my mum that morning. Okay. Well, why are you telling us this? Why is she telling us this? I have no idea. I didn't want to see her face. So after school, I decided that instead of going home, I'd park myself in the outdoor walkway for a little and watch the rain. Okay. That's when Mr. Yoshizaki showed up. He sat down next to me. I told him about my fight with my mum, and he listened really closely and just kept saying, uh-huh. He was sick and couldn't speak very much, but he was a very kind man. Sorry, distracted. I really liked him. But then what? You too, I'm so sorry. Oh, she's so tiny, she must be a 5th grader. Yuki Kano, right? Thank you for what you did back there, for making the effort to help those of us who were killed in our school. Didn't we succeed though? Why are you still here? You didn't. Oh, great. We retained your tongues, we gave back the ability to tell your story. And we even got your murderer to repent for what he did. Is it just that you can't forgive him no matter what? Appeasing us isn't about forgiveness, it doesn't matter if we forgive or not. Repentance is between the criminal and the victim. It's a soul act capable of moving us. And we exist as fragments of the sacred ground upon which Heavenly Host is sealed. I believe that moving us is your best course of action. Moving? But it's not enough. Repentance just wasn't enough. So you're saying his words, the words spoken by the doll, weren't good enough to appease you? That's not... I'm confused. What's going on? So what then? Why do you feel the need to trap an innocent stranger after another in that godforsaken place? Child spirits are the ones who summon us there, aren't you? That's not true. How do you mean by that? We're just the cogs that hold the closed spaces together. But you killed Tsuzumoto, didn't you? Oh god. Huh? Let's hear her out. You're mad. Thank you. I know you did, but I was busy. Okay, carry on. Got food, yeah. I'm just glad I was able to get even the two of you back safely. Why the hell are you all of a sudden so concerned about us? I heard about a situation like this from my sister once. A lost soul whose life was ended violently and abruptly, leaving her with a mountain of worries and regrets. It's kind of like stopping short at the edge of madness, with all sorts of thoughts and feelings swirling around in your head. Your kindly nature and sudden hatred and panic begin to spin around and around, and you just start acting without any sort of control. Your sister's some kind of medium or something? Yeah, something like that. Nutcase, I'm going with. So what you're saying is, this little girl is, and the creepy little girl we met before are two sides of the same coin. She's bipolar. I feel for you, I really do. So please bring the rest of them back. Makida, Masashida, and everyone else too. Bring them all back home. Come on, you can do it, right? I don't think that's possible anymore. Oh, for God's sakes, why not? Those closed spaces have eaten a lot of innocent souls, far too many in fact. The grudges of those who died there have filled every last corner of them, there's no room left. And because the agony and pain has nowhere else to go, it's begun feeding on the minds of souls like us who are bound there. It won't be long before I turn back into a vengeful spirit who attacks people like you without mercy. So we're going to lose you as an ally then. So why don't you just hurry up and bring them back home right now? Isn't there any way for us to save Makita and the others? Maybe one way. What is it? I think you already know. You have to return to the closed spaces. Find all 4 Heavenly Host serial kidnapping and murder victims. Put us all to rest. Then the closed spaces won't have their cogs anymore. They should begin to fade from existence. And you just might get your friends back. Expect us to go back? And this time, instead of just having one person left to appease, we'll have to go back to the drawing board and appease all 4 of you? Why can't you tell us the reason the previous service weren't good enough? Why is that to hide? It's just something I don't want to remember, but if you really want to know, I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything that happened, okay? Yuki's spirit gently took hold of Yumi's hand. Oh god. Merged together into a single mind. What's going on? Oh god. Why is it not ending? It hurts, it hurts. God. God. Huh? What happened to me? I swear, like, I want to do like a quarter of an hour episode. It's been like fucking 25 minutes or something. Didn't I pass out? So am I fully aware right now? Can't see a thing, and I can't move. I feel like it's like that feeling you get when you're really tired. Sleep paralysis, I think. Oh, where? Why can't I move? Because you're just watching, I guess. Oh god, it was them. They're reading it again. Oh, they're listening, aren't they? Little girl in the red dress and the only survivor there for me. I was kidding. Yeah. Following the incident, Shiko's family fled from the area, moving to another prefecture to escape the frightful memories that remained here. Strangely, however, I was unable to locate any other records of Shinazaki's family. No matter where I look, the only information I can find about them comes from newspaper reports on the Heavenly Host murders. Granted, what an elementary school becomes the stage for a grisly incident such as this, perpetrated by none other than the principal's own son, it stands to reason that the scandal would serve as a primary focus for public interest, with all of the details fading into the background. So of course, after learning that Chico was safe, further news of her whereabouts was largely ignored in favour of the media circus surrounding the school. But there's more to it than that. People weren't just uninterested in learning Chico's history or whereabouts, there was simply no data to be had. Mad. I can't move my body because of the sleep paralysis, I guess, but I can clearly see the room I'm in now. There's one boy and 2 girls in here aside from myself. I recognise them. They're the children who were killed in Heavenly Host during that incident. They're still alive. Fortunately, they're all bound hand and foot and just sprawled out on the floor, and so am I. That's the real reason I can't move. Save me, please save me. No, stop, please. What? I can't see. You just like. No, I'm blindfolded. I can't see a thing that's happening to me. And since my hands and feet are tied up, I can't move the blindfold either. That just makes everything so much worse. I guess because I can't see, I begin to listen more intently. I don't know. Frightened sobbing. Oh god, Jesus Christ. The helpless cries of the other children echo off the walls of the cramped room. I'm so scared, it feels like my head's going to explode. What are you doing to me? Why am I blindfolded? Untie me, cut the ropes. I want to be able to use my hands and feet, please. Please. That girl in the red dress, though. I kept begging and pleading, but all I heard in response was the man walking away from me. In order, okay? Oh no, what's gonna happen? In order. What? Oh, what's happening? I heard screaming like this before. It's pure primal terror cutting through the air like a perfect sine wave. It's the boy at the end. Oh man. It feels like he's been screaming for eternity. I think he's being killed right now. My god, what the hell is he doing to him? Oh, I don't like this. It's making me like shudder. No one deserves this. Why isn't God allowing him to fall unconscious so he doesn't have to suffer? Because he's not real. For at least half an hour now. As inhumane screams of a young boy being ripped apart from the inside finally come to a halt. Oh god, the other girl. Right, in a single moment of silence, the first of the other girls in line is the next to scream for her life, and that symphony goes on. Oh, I can't take any more of this. I'm losing my mind. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I think it's your turn. Must be. Is it still going on? Come on, just die already. Die already. God, what's wrong with me? That's what I was thinking. What's wrong with you? You know what? I don't care. Just get it over with and leave me in peace. Well, second one down. Finally, after hearing a sound of a heavy object being dropped, the noises stopped and the room grew quiet again. Oh god. His footsteps are getting closer, and my hair is standing on end at this point. Everything below my stomach feels like it's frozen, like I've suddenly been stricken with severe diarrhea. Mad. In order. God, why am I relieved by the silence? The kid next to me just died, which means it's my turn now. Someone's got me by the hair, pulling my head up, and taking off my blindfold, which means I get to see the face of my killer. The homeless children were found in the basement room at Heavenly Hills Elementary School, unused and unofficially sealed since the building's construction. When authorities entered, they were greeted with an inhumanely horrific sight. Based upon evidence at hand, the murder weapon was determined to be a pair of large sewing scissors found in the hands of the accused. Investigators suspected some hesitation on the man's part. However, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used, nonetheless, he had clearly acted with extreme malicious intent. Official cause of death for the three murdered children had been listed as loss of blood following removal of tongue. But its actual state of affairs was not quite so clinical, or even so pleasant, if you can believe it. The following details have been extrapolated from information previously unreleased to the public, or at least previously unreported by news outlets. These details of the crime are based on the official police testimony of Shuchiko Shinozaki herself. Evidently, the victims were bound, blindfolded, and spaced out on the floor, then killed one by one. One was reportedly stabbed in the abdomen with the aforementioned pair of scissors, then had many of his internal organs forcefully dug out. His discarded inwards were found partially buried beneath the earthen floor of the basement floor. Another was stabbed in the head upon dozens of times, in such an extent that all the flesh and bone above her jaw was essentially minced away. With my blindfold removed, a sight appeared before me that was more horrific than anything I could possibly imagine. Right. As I said before, I think it's the girl in red dress, and I think it proves it that it said it didn't use the full strength. That could just be that was the girl's whole strength, and because he's a lot weaker than him, so it would make sense. Also, it's her account, and if she's blindfolded, how can she give an account of what was happening? So, you know. And then, third of all, I think she's just creepy, and she survived, so why is she there? Oh, what did you see? The person staring back at me, brandishing a blood-soaked pair of scissors, wasn't a large man from earlier at all. It was one of the children, red dress girl. It was a little girl, her face dyed red with the blood of her victims. Fucking right it was. She was staring intently at me with her soulless grey eyes, and then she just started giggling. That's why I keep saying giggle. Oh, Jesus. She was opening and closing the bloody scissors over and over again, and the sound kept echoing through the room. And she took the dull, rusty, thoroughly blood-soaked blades and slowly brought them closer and closer to my left eye. Oh, Jesus. How? Why? Why is it you? Oh, she's stabbing her in the eye. Oh, God. Ugh, don't like it. The third chicken was stabbed in the left eye, an indeterminate number of times, until her eyeball became soup-like in consistency. She was eventually just left like that, slowly bleeding to death in horrible agony. Strangely, it was only after these mutilations had already been inflicted that the killer went back and severed the victims' tongues. Learning the truth about the proceedings is shocking even to me, and makes it nearly impossible to accept the murderer as anything but a monster. And bearing witness to every moment of this was a 7-year-old girl named Sachiko. In many ways, she is the most pitiable and long-suffering of them all. But it was through her tearful, frightened testimony that Yoshikazu Yanagihori was officially charged. Now, going back to the hunt for information on this unforgettable girl's whereabouts, unfortunate girl's whereabouts, it was her words that ultimately led to, the sentencing. Therefore, it comes to no surprise that sensitive information pertaining to her and her family would be withheld. That's to be expected. What's not expected, however, is that there's not even the slightest trace of this information left to find. It's as if it simply never existed. Therefore, I cannot help but consider alternative possible explanations. I remind you, this is more conjecture. But one question keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Was really the murderer of the 3 victims? Is it possible the crime was not actually perpetrated by him at all? Think about it. In his final days, was incapable of communicating with others through speech. Despite his childlike reversion, he'd always been a personable and friendly man. As the saying goes, he wouldn't hurt a fly. All his relatives, friends, and neighbours confirmed as much. Shocking to hear that such a kindly man could commit these unconscionable atrocities. He certainly had no motive for the crime either. There was nothing for him to gain from it. Then again, he may simply have lost his mind. Look at his father. It was around the same time the principal, suddenly began speaking in tongues and acting in the most peculiar way, not to mention scribbling incomprehensible gibberish all over his walls, as if possessed. He seemed frightened of someone, and would often be found crouching in the corner of his office, moaning and thrashing when visitors came by. If he could wind up in such a beleaguered state, with no warning, then perhaps so too could his son. That's what both like being, forced by that girl. I believe that we're looking at a curse far more powerful than anything man could have devised. From the time it opened its doors, so that the day it closed them forever. Heavenly Hills Elementary sealed basement room has existed as some form of cursed ground. And to find the underlying cause, we must go back beyond the infamous kidnapping and murder incident. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Back a whole 20 years. I believe I may have found a clue that could shed some light on the situation. Maybe a bit far-fetched as leads go, but it's a lead nonetheless. Regrettably, since Heavenly Host was not only closed down but demolished altogether and another school built in its place, it's no longer possible to investigate the basement room directly. But my protege has found what may be the next best thing. Something that could make the impossible possible once more. Preparations are being made to pursue this lead even now. Be sure not to miss the next installment. It may be the scoop of a lifetime. Oh, thank fuck for that. Dun dun! Dun dun! I don't know. Continuing chapter 5. Okay. Jesus Christ. That was long. I think I might make that into 3 episodes, you know. Yeah, whatever. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I may have made this a 3 parts or 2. I don't know yet. We'll see how long it is. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Comment down below with any tips for this game or any other games you'd like me to play. And yeah, subscribe if you're new. Anyway, see you guys in a bit. Bye!